background, so it's not really affecting it, yeah. So just about to go, I think we're going live there now. So welcome to Your Holistic Academy. John Donnelly is my name, and I'm here today with Fiona Brennan. How are you doing today, Fiona?
Hi, John.
Great to meet you today. And Fiona, I just
Thank you.
We met on the Your Holistic Academy platform, and delighted to have you part of that platform. But I wanted to talk to you today about your own coaching business. Inspire Action Success is the name of your company, yeah?
Yes, that's what it's called, yeah. I started it really, well, I suppose I go back a little bit. I was in employment for up to about 20 years till the end of 2016. And I took the opportunity to go freelance myself as a project manager. So I set up my own project management business called Project Management Interiors, which is to work with mostly commercial businesses on refurbishment and extensions, renovations. So I've been doing that for the last few years, but haven't done that journey of going from employment into entrepreneurship. I entered, I suppose, the personal development journey because I found myself, I suppose, standing by myself on my own 2 feet, feeling not very great about myself and not very confident. Yeah. Even though I knew how to do the thing of project management, I knew how to actually turn up and be a project manager. But when it came to actually selling myself as a business and being confident and being my own backbone, I suppose, because when you're an employee, you have the company behind you. So no matter what, you have them as your backup. So you're never fully responsible. But when you enter as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, that all comes on your head and you don't realize it until you're in it.
Yeah.
So I had to, I suppose, end up doing a lot of work, self-development work on myself as a result of that. And that led me into doing the coaching training. And I started the coaching training as a way to help myself. And that was in 2018. And I did all that, and that was wonderful. And it totally changed everything that I was doing. It totally changed everything from my work point of view, but also my personal point of view. And to be honest, John, I was there in that course the very first week, and the information I was starting to receive, I was absolutely, thrown aback with. I couldn't understand how I had not known about any of this information before. Where had I been living? What rock was I under for the last, few decades?
Yeah.
And I actually thought everybody else knew all this stuff. And then I realized when I started to do a little bit of investigation work, no, that's not actually true. A lot of people didn't know and don't know about how really it all starts with ourselves on the inside out. So when I had finished the training, I still had my project management business, and I went back to that, and that was fine. But I was tipping away in the background with coaching. I was doing more learning, more investigating, more upskilling. I just couldn't get enough of it. And it was really the tail end of last year, about this time last year, actually, I decided, to bite the bullet and set up my own business called Inspire Action Success. And the name actually came from the fact that when I asked myself, what did I actually want to do? What did I want the business to be? And I wanted to basically inspire people to take the action needed in order for them to achieve their own success. So that's where the name came from. Yeah. And I'm very much a doer. I'm very much, set a goal and get things done. And with the project management, I'm very much of planning things out and looking at everything that's in the way and looking at alternative ways to get there. So I use the skills of that combined with the mindset tools from coaching to create the business that I have now that I offer. And 2020 has provided me a great opportunity to just delve into that a lot more and to offer the business and to grow the business a lot more this year. So I've been blessed with that.
Super, Fiona. I love the name Inspire Action Success. So the action bit is your project management skill set, if you like, is the action bit. And
yeah,
the inspire bit is your own personal journey, I guess.
The inspire is, it's me. I suppose I have a drive and I have determination, but I want to help just to inspire people to, feel that they can achieve things that they want to achieve, because we all have dreams and goals, and we all have these conversations on the couch or at the dinner table with our friends and family, oh, I'd love to do this, and God, wouldn't it be great? And, in 20 years time, you look back, God, I would have loved to have done that and tried this. But so many of us get stuck in our own limiting beliefs. We get stuck in our own stories. We get stuck in generations and generations of identities that just seem to be drip fed. And a lot of the times they don't actually get done. So I suppose my passion is to inspire people to really believe that you're never actually stuck. You're never stuck. You're only stuck by your own limitations, and that everything is possible if you just actually look at it in a whole different way and learn a few tools and techniques that will actually help you to make those moves and take those moves. And I had my own personal journey, I suppose, where I had been stuck myself and felt we were in situations for years where I couldn't get out of. And that the rest of my life was limited by this particular decision that had happened and this event had happened. Until I suppose a particular day where I reached tipping point. And it's the point where, you know, the pain of staying is just too much. And it's like, okay, there's got to be something. There has to be a way out. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I just know I'm not staying where I am anymore. And the big thing is making that decision to no longer stay stuck. When you make that decision to say yes, that's the piece that gives you the energy. And that's the piece then that gives you the motivation. And then it gives you the ideas, because you just need to decide. And then you just need to take one step, one tiny movement forward that actually gets the whole thing moving. And then it's like a little snowball. It starts to build up very, very slowly. But it's making the decision to no longer accept your current situation, and that no matter what the how is or when, you're just going to move on, make a difference.
Sure. And was there a point that you decided you needed to ask for help, or was there somebody who came into your life that that made the difference? Was it one person, or was it just a course, or was it a...
For that particular point in my life, it was me deciding that enough was enough, and that I no longer wanted to live that particular way. And like when making the decision, it was like, okay, sitting down with a blank sheet of paper. So, you know, where can I start? What is one thing I can do? And then making a phone call or sending an email, and actually opening up yourself to go out and look for help, because there is help out there. There is support, but it's picking up the phone and saying, okay, well, look, I'm in this situation. Well, what can I do? There's always something, and it can be some little way. It can be some little thing. I remember at one point I reached out to a work colleague who was, you know, very high up in the corporate business I was in. But we would have known each other, but he was like levels above me. But I knew he had some information on a little piece that I needed to know. It was only a very small piece. But I took the chance on actually emailing him. If you imagine like layers and layers apart from, like, I'm just, you know, at this level in the organization as somebody's 4 or 5 levels up. And I'm sending him a random email looking for a little bit of help. And we ended up having a phone call. And out of that phone call actually came nearly the solution to where I ended up being and where I ended up going. It didn't show itself straight away. It took months, but that phone call ended up being a very important call in the end. And all for me just deciding, you know what, I'm going to forget about the fact that there's layers between us. I'm going to forget about the fact that I'm just me and he's there. I'm actually just going to go out there and ask the question, because you just never know. But I suppose the fact that you decide to move from being stuck to trying to get an answer, that's where the little ideas come in, and the idea to contact this person dropped to me, you know, and then you take action on that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, coaching as opposed to mentoring, that was like a sort of a mentoring situation where somebody at a higher level you had reached out to. That's like a sort of a mentoring. So is there a difference for you between coaching and mentoring?
Oh yeah. So no, I suppose I hadn't started the coaching journey at that stage at all. This was before I even went into, I was still Action employee. This was just way back in my own particular hurdle, I suppose, and experience that when I did go to do the coaching training, everything I had done made sense. And I felt then I really had a passion for actually getting the whole thing, pulling the whole package together using your mindset, using your determination, but with the right environment and the right support. So coaching is basically working with somebody one-to-one to try and empower them to see their own solutions. So it's a list. I mean, at its base level, it's listening at its core, and it's helping people to see that they already have the answers inside them. But a lot of times we look for advice and we look to see what everybody else is doing, and we don't take the time to listen to ourselves. So we have actually the answers inside us. So coaching is actually, I suppose, being a supportive person to the client, listening and asking powerful questions that will help them to see what their answers are. And versus mentoring is more giving guidance on what you can actually do. Here are things you can do. So, but the coaching is different. There are tools and techniques to work with clients, but they're still pulling from the internal power that you already have. Does that make sense?
Would your coaching style be a combination of both coaching and mentoring then?
It's mainly coaching, but I do offer the mentoring service from a point of view of maybe some strategies and tools where people are stuck. But I offer it on a coaching piece first, and then we can swap into mentoring role at some point where they need a little bit more direction. But a lot of the coaching is at the beginning stage, I suppose, when people need to make their own decisions. Nobody can tell you what it is that you need to do. You need to know that yourself. You need to discover that yourself. And then you need to discover what's all the things that are holding you back. You know, and then when you've got your clear path, then there may be strategies and things that you can go into, and that's kind of where you can kind of swap into a mentoring role for that.
Yeah, sure. So the third, inspire action success. So the success part, what is success for you, Fiona? What does that mean for you?
So success, everyone has a different definition of success. So success, why it's in the title is because you may have a goal and it's the success of that goal. But the goal can be anything from a personal to business. So it can be that you just want to be a better partner. You want to be a better friend. You want to be a better version of yourself. You want to be a fitter version. It may be that you want to build your business up to another level. And you know, so the goal is taking it to that level. So it's whatever that success, that definition of success looks like for you, and it's different for everybody.
Sure. And the holistic approach, obviously you're attracted to the Holistic Academy. So is there a holistic element, do you feel, to what your unique style of coaching, is it?
Yeah, I suppose what attracted me to join the Holistic Academy was, I suppose, the fact that it's a group of people that are business owners who are all working in the same field between coaching, but also, you know, from energy points of view and products that will help people. So, you know, getting to know everyone that's out there in that field is very important, because I'm not always going to be able to have the solutions to to people who come to me. We can work so far together, but it's, you know, sometimes people need other different enhancements. They might need like maybe some energy healing. They might need some support, you know, from physio point of view or different elements like that. So when it's great to get to know who else is out there and you can recommend, because with the Holistic Academy, you start to know who's in the group and what everyone is about and what they're all offering. And then, you know, using that network to maybe, you know, recommend people on. So I think for that, it's very powerful. From my own coaching point of view, I'm very passionate about bringing in energy into the coaching and getting people to just stop and become present, and raising their consciousness is a big part of my coaching programs. And my clients have found that very, very powerful, because it's all about taking time to just stop and listen to yourself and to listen to your mind and body. So,
Super, Fiona. I was just looking at your website. So your website, inspireactionsuccess.com. And one of the quotes you said, she believed she could, so she did.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? That's fabulous.
So that quote apparently has been around. I don't know where it originated from, but it's funny. I never came across it before until we had actually moved house. I'd come from that piece in my life where there was a big transition, and I had gone from being stuck to, I suppose, free, so to speak. But a friend of mine gave me those words on a plaque when we had actually moved, and I just it really resonated with me, because what she saw me achieve, I set out to do at that time. When I said to you, like, I made a decision that I didn't know the how and I didn't know the when. I just needed to do it. So she just felt, that quote was like that she being me, I believed I could, and I did. So that's just, it's been my, my little thing. So, every time I go to do something, so I set up my own project management business was with the intentions that, what, this is now something I want to do, and I'm just going to do it. And see how I have to figure out how to do this. I didn't know how to set up a business before. I didn't know how to become an entrepreneur, and I didn't know how to go out and get the business. And then I suppose more recently, then I took it on then to create the coaching business. Again, a whole new venture, because with the coaching business, there's so much more marketing, and there's so much more, because coaching is so personal. I am the person that clients want to get to know. So putting yourself out there is a huge step. And so there's, even more personal development, and it's a continuous journey of growth and a continuous journey of development every single day, nearly,
Yeah.
Even coming on here, John.
Yeah. And those belief levels, Fiona, they can, when you're on that journey, the belief levels are always going to be tested every day, really, aren't they? And I guess it's about how you show up every day. And some days you may not feel like showing up, but you still have to show up when you're working for yourself. And
yes.
Yeah. So again, the personal development journey never really ends, does it? I mean, it just keeps going.
It doesn't, because you start off, I suppose, being in a certain circle, a comfort zone circle, and when you step outside that first one, and you break through those barriers and beliefs and identities, and then that's fine, and that settles. But then your circle extends again, and then you got to take a next step. So every single time, you have to re-identify yourself, and create the new beliefs that you need, and create the new stories that will take you to that level that you need to get to. And I suppose at the base level is understanding why you're actually even doing all of that. Why is it that you want to actually, get up every morning and put yourself through that? And it's not, I don't mean to put yourself through it, but if you're just not feeling the way that you need to feel that day to do the thing that you have to do, relating back to why it is you started in the first place. Because there are days where, even with all the tools and techniques that I have and that I know and understand, the basis of mindset, there still are days where I will hit a wall and just, nearly ask that question, jeepers, wouldn't it be just easier if what if I just go back? Wasn't I grand where I was? But, so that's a moment, and then you catch it and you say, okay, well, but why did I start this in the first place? And remembering why you started, and then that's like, what? Yeah. Okay. Right. And then, shake yourself off, and, take some time out, take some self-care. It's very important. Do whatever it is you need to do to allow you then to move on to the next step again.
Yeah. And so your passion is coaching, Fiona. So that's a sort of a passion to help other people, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where that comes from, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's funny, because project management, even though it's project management is like strategies and things from getting from A to B, but in my whole experience of being a project manager, it's actually about the people. It's actually about working with a group of people and getting everybody on board with a vision, and then working with them, and giving them the empowerment and the inspiration for each of them to do their tasks, so that the whole vision can be completed. And I suppose I've just enjoyed so much working with people over the years, and coaching, actually, when I think back on it, just seemed to be a very natural transition. It's actually not so different to project management at all, because you are starting at one point and you want to get to the next point, and what you need to do in between. and what are all the resources and what are all the roadblocks and what are all the new ways of thinking to get you there. So it's the same, the same thought process behind it.
Sure. And you're working with, you've got some webinars and workshops coming up, Fiona?
Yes, John, I have a webinar this evening actually at 7:30 for an hour, and it's titled 5 Steps to Activate Your Vision for Success. So that's just to help people, I suppose, see where they are right now, what changes they would like to make, and what we need to do to get the ball rolling for them. So it's just, you know, inviting people to take an hour out of their evening this evening that hopefully then will give them a bit of momentum, a bit of structure, so that maybe, you know, in the month of November, people could actually start to take some action, and not have to wait until the end of the year, not be waiting until January to come. You know, start now. Whatever it is that you think you can't do, you actually can. And the only person that's in your way is yourself.
Yeah.
So that's, it's for everybody really, anyone who really wants to make a change in their life. I work specifically with female entrepreneurs. That's my, I suppose, my target market at the moment. Mainly because I am a female entrepreneur and I've gone through the whole process of setting up a business. So I work to help women who are either at the beginning stage, who have decided they're going to set up, to get started and get through all those initial barriers. And then also women who are maybe established for a few years, but are just maybe a little bit stuck. You know, they need to just ramp up or get more traction, or maybe with the whole COVID thing, things have taken a bit of a twist. So how do we, you know, get things moving again? So that's my audience. But the webinar this evening is really applies to everybody.
Sure. And do you find it the same, like coaching online as opposed to what you used to do before COVID? Like you meet them, is it more difficult or?
Yeah, I think, you know, to be honest, it's funny because before COVID, all my coaching, majority of it was in person. Now that limits you obviously on who you can reach without having to drive, you know, long distances. And before COVID, you know, I might have suggested to people, look, do you want to do some sessions over Zoom? And, you know, I suppose people are not as keen on it.
Yeah.
But with the whole COVID and the fact that everybody has gone online and Zoom has, you know, every single person, grannies and all, are on Zoom. So it's not an excuse anymore. But you know, the great thing about it is you can be a client being coached and you can be sitting on your bed in your jammies, taking notes and be completely like relaxed. And that's the best way to be.
Yeah.
Because it is all about developing you. So you might as well be in your most comfortable area when you're doing it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I think it's great.
Yeah. How can people find you there? You're pretty active in social media, Fiona. And
yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn. Just look up Fiona Brennan on LinkedIn. And I have a Facebook page, business page, Inspire Action Success. And my website, as you said there, is inspireactionsuccess.com. And I have a private Facebook group for women in business, which is called Generating Success for Ambitious Female Entrepreneurs. So if anybody is interested in joining that, you can send me an invite. But you'll find that all on Facebook. Even if you put in my name, it'll all come up anyway, because they're all linked together.
Yeah, great. And of course, you can also find you on yourholisticacademy.com.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I'm on the front page there of the members. All my details are there. Yeah. And more recently, I've gone on to Instagram. So very modern.
Yeah. Well, listen, Fiona, it's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. I'm delighted that we're going to get the opportunity to work together on the Your Holistic Academy platform. Looking forward to
I love it. It's a brilliant platform, John. It really is. And there's some really incredible people already there. And the mix is great. The mix of so many different services and product suppliers. So it's a great platform.
And it's a collaboration between us. It brings a diversity of thinking then, and it brings skill sets from different holistic backgrounds as well. So it brings that all together. So, yeah. So listen, Fiona, thank you so much. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And I'm looking forward to your webinar tonight, actually. So
great. Yeah. It's going to be in a few hours, so John, yeah.
I'll be seeing you again later on.
Great.
Thank you so much, Fiona. Take care.
Thank you for having me. Take care.